and welcome to Soaring with Guests. Please join me in welcoming my guest, Phinnah Chichi. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. Oh my goodness. I am just so happy to have you here. Honestly,
Oh,
I'm so happy. I've been trying to get you on here for the longest
I
time.
remember.
Our schedules have not aligned, so I'm
Yes.
so excited. So excited. Okay, so before I even start talking about SOAR or anything, I want to know your story. Like, how did you become a teen coach? Like, what even drew you to that age? How did it all begin for you?
Oh, beautiful. It's a beautiful question because every time I talk about it, it makes me go back to the start. I've been a chartered accountant for a long time. I went into accountancy, and I think even now looking back, the reason I went into accountancy, one of my friends was going to be an accountant, so I said, "Well, okay, let's be an accountant." So that was my initial. That was how I started, and I did that for years. And whilst I was doing that, a lot of times people would tell me, Phinnah, you don't talk like an accountant, you don't act like an accountant. You actually, when I say I'm an accountant, there's always this double look to me, when I say I'm an accountant. So it was something that was kept ringing. People kept saying it, and I kept noting it down. And in 2009, I think it was 2009ish, that period, my mom lost her only two sisters at two different points in the year, and it caused me to just stop. Like they were very close aunties of mine, and it caused me to stop to say, okay, Phinnah, what's going on? What's life all about? If anything happens today, would I say I've done what I was supposed to do? So I started asking myself some really deep questions that I've never asked myself before. And my mind wasn't settled because it needed the answers. It was time for me to do something different. I started to see life in a different way. Um, it was just mind boggling. So I prayed about it, just started staying open to just listen, hear what it is that I'm going to hear in this. I didn't have any clue of what it was I was supposed to do next. But I think as I was just in those still moment times, I knew and I was reading some books as well. I did go in search for some books about, your purpose and all those kind of things. And a lot of times, most of the things I was being exposed to was saying, you already have them around you. These are things you're already doing. But because you just do them so automatically, you don't realize that that is what you're supposed to be doing. And it's so true. When I came back to the UK at the age of 18, my younger sister joined me, and she was just before she was 13. So it was just me and her in this country. And I didn't even put two and two together until one of my birthdays. She sent me a message and she said, "You were with me from when I was a teenager." And I just looked, whoa. I did not connect the dots at all. So when I say I've been doing this teens thing for over 10 years, it's more than 10 years because I started with my sister. And today, every time it's my birthday, she reminds me that she wouldn't be where she is if not for me. And it breaks me every time she says it, it breaks me. So whilst I was praying and stuff, God was just directing me to teenagers. I knew because one of the things I read about when you discovering your purpose is when people say negative things about what you're passionate about, you get very fired up. And it's so true. With teenagers, when I hear the stabbings, when I hear when I hear that about teenagers, my heart is always very broken because I know that teenagers are great people. I know that it takes the words that are coming out of our mouths to help build up a teenager. I remember myself as a teenager very, very well, very insecure teenager that I was. And I always said that if I had someone like me in my life when I was a teenager, it would have been a whole different story. And that was how I went into just continuing what I was doing, talking to teenagers. And I found out that teenagers heard me, they listened to me. There was just something with the way I listened to them, there was something about the way I spoke to them. All the teenagers I've spoken to, they get me. And so that's when I knew that this is definitely a special gift from God I can't take for granted. And I have to do it. It became a calling. It's still a calling. where I knew I had to speak into the lives of teenagers.
Wow.
And the testaments that I have from it just proves it over and over again.
Wow. Wow. Amazing.
So that was how I started in the teens journey. And then whilst I was in the teens journey, God was saying, this is not it. This is not just it. There's more. You're helping teenagers come out of themselves. You're helping teenagers to bring the best out of themselves. But guess what? When they go home, it's being unraveled with the parents. And I was like, whoa. And then I started having to talk to parents because I needed parents to be on board with what I was doing with the teenagers. And that was how that whole part. So now it's the teenagers and the parents. Because the main goal is for the well-being of the teenagers. The main goal is for the growth of the teenagers. I can't do it on my own. I need the parents to cooperate with me as well, with all the ideas and all the things that God gives me to share with them. If you notice, a lot of my content with teenagers is not from textbooks. They're not textbook things. Even when I share with parents, it's not textbook stuff. It's both from my experience as I'm journeying through it and just wisdom from God.
Wow. Wow.
So that was how my journey started.
Wow.
And it's been a flourishing one. Yes, that's how my journey started.
Beautiful, beautiful. You can tell, first time I saw you was on Bankole Williams Live.
Live, yes.
I think you were talking about how the, course had transformed your life. And I just remember thinking, ooh, so soft-spoken. And when you started talking about what you do and everything, I was like, wow. So I went on your page and I looked at your posts and everything and I followed you. I'm like, oh, I just love her. There's just some glow that you have. I'm sure you've heard this a lot because everybody that I know that has spoken about you, they always say Phinnah just has a glow. She just has a glow. Okay. What I want to know is, how did you even find out about SOAR? Okay. And how did you know that it was what you needed at the time? Were you searching or what?
Yes. I think, when you ask yourself certain questions, you start to hear answers. So that year, this was last year, wasn't it? Yeah, last year. So what had happened? Yes, okay, I've been doing what I'm doing. There was more now to go to because, when you get to doing what you're supposed to do, there are levels to it. So I started asking myself deep questions. And what I love about questions is that it makes you honest about your situation and where you are. I knew that there were some things that were holding me back. So let's say, for example, I get a parent who is interested in coaching. And they tell me all the things that they give me the things. I tell them, okay, this is what it's all about. There was something that was always stopping me. Sometimes I would go back to them, and then some other times I would delay going back to them. Thinking, but why is that? I've attended courses, be the excellent woman, be the efficient woman, no procrastination. I've done all that. But there was still something inside my mind that was stopping me. I couldn't figure what that was. So one day I heard Bankole speaking to FD. And I'd attended FD's course as well. So you can tell I was, I've just been searching. Yeah. And so Bankole was talking to FD and I don't know how they talked. They ended up just saying something about parents. And when I hear the word parents, my ears just opens up wide. And I could relate to what he was saying with the words that come out of our mouths as parents. I could relate to it. And then Bankole just said talking about things about childhood. It just made me like, whoa, okay, I need to know more about this because that's probably my missing link to understanding why I do certain things, why I delay on certain things. And so as soon as that course came out, the SOAR 1, I went for it. It wasn't even a case of, will I do it? Will I not? Or is that, I just thought, you know what, this year, I need to sort this out. And I went on it. And before I went on it, just before the first day, I said, my mind is open, God. I just want to hear what is it I want to hear. And I got it on day 1. Wow. I got it on day 1, totally. I got that stuff of that mentality of managing was stopping me. Because I grew up, everything was about manage this, manage the meat on your plates, manage this is all we have. So we became experts in managing. And we used to feel very proud that, when I get my pay at the end of the month, I can manage it through. Oh, I'm expert in that. It was a thing of pride. But I didn't realize that was stopping me from any other income that would come, that had the potential to come. Because I already had one set of pay, I thought that was enough. My mind will always be on that. Even if I want to spend money, I would just think, okay, is that going to be enough? Is that going to take me till payday? Everything was about payday. Nothing beyond that. And that was what was stopping me. It was on day one I found out. My eyes open. I mean, you can even ask Bankole, throughout the sessions, my video was on. I wasn't one of those who shut their videos up, because for me, I needed to focus. And with my video on, I stayed focused. So my video was on all through those days because I needed to catch what it was I was catching. Day one, I caught it. Day two continued more and more, just reconfirming what it is about our minds. There was one part where Bankole said, when you have your meditations and you're sitting there in the morning, make sure you don't get up from there until you decide what your day is going to, how your day is going to be. And I took that literally. I took it literally. So I would not get up until I've said what how my day has ended. I've seen how my day has ended. And so it was so life transforming and so perfect for the moment, because this had to be the moment I needed to know this, to be able to go forward in what I was doing. And so that was it. That was really what I was searching for, something, and I got it. I got the answer on day one.
Wow.
On day one, because the mind is everything. Yeah. The mind is everything. What we do, what we tell ourselves in the mind is everything. We can have all the head knowledge we want to have, and that's all good. But if we don't know how to deal with the disempowering thoughts that come our way, then we're going to stay stuck and be stagnant. And stagnancy stinks, as they say.
Definitely. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So what changes, like what tangible changes did you start to see in your life?
Oh, so many. First of all, a lot more opportunities started coming my way because I was expecting the opportunities. It was okay to have more than what I was managing. Managing was no more a thing of pride. Managing was no more a thing of pride. I don't talk about payday anymore. I don't even think about it. Even if the thought comes, I quickly replace those thoughts. I started understanding, so practically, when I even pray practically, I'm conscious of my thoughts after prayers. I'm making sure that my thoughts are still aligning to what I said in those prayers, because a lot of times they won't. Other things, circumstances will come your way. I'm not saying my life has been perfect since then, but I've been able to control those thoughts better than I would have before. Before, I would have stayed in those thoughts, stayed in them, wallowed in them for a little bit. But now I think time is too valuable to wallow in those kind of thoughts. Too valuable.
Oh, I feel you. One other thing I've been noticing is with people's businesses and like their ministries and passions and stuff that they're doing, there's also been a transformation there as well. So apart from like opportunities coming, like what other things have you seen in your business and like with your coaching with teens and everything? What change have you seen since then?
I think for me, I've seen more parents embrace the change that they are experiencing. I've seen more parents admit to the wrongs and the things that they've done. Because before, that used to be the hardest part to get from parents. Before, parents, I know it all. I know it. This is the way I was brought up. This was the. But now there's more of a vulnerability. And my approach to parents have changed, actually, because now I go in with the intention that I have an assignment here to do. This is not about coaching. This is more of my assignment that God has placed me to do this. So I'm coming, and before I speak to them, I say, God, give me the words to use. Give me the wisdom. So it's slightly different. And because it's slightly different in that way, because it comes from, okay, this is my assignment, this is what I need to do. I'm the person to help this person. And by helping this person, I'm helping build the kingdom. There are many thoughts that come my way with that makes the coaching session so different and so unique. I can't tell you that this is the exact procedure that I do, because everything is different from each parent. And each parent's way that I work with them is very different. So that came along as well in this transformation. It made the coaching seem become more unique. Yeah. It wasn't like a tick box thing anymore.
Yeah.
There was something deeper to it.
Wow.
That was the difference.
Oh my God. My main one was confident.
Yes.
Lacking it so badly. Lacking it to the point where I would be scared to share my message.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
And this thing you're saying of realizing it's an assignment, that happened to me too, where I'm like, it's not about you.
Exactly.
It's not about you. Who is looking at your face? When you realize that you have an assignment, you won't even be worrying about what people think.
At all.
Because it's not about you.
Yes.
So that one really changed for me. And I have noticed that I'm now more confident to share what I'm sharing because I'm not looking at myself.
Exactly. And before, you know what I used to do before? Before, if my hair needed like a cut, I was like, I can't do a video today. Okay. Because I need to cut my hair. I'm like, huh? Now it's not about hair. It's, if you got a message, just bring it up.
I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. Oh, no.
It's so funny what we think about. It's so funny how we let these thoughts, you know, and that was one of the biggest things for, you know, the affirmations that we share in SOAR, you know, it's just dealing with those disempowering thoughts and just replacing them. And then also embracing the fact that we attract wealth. That used to be a big struggle for me to say at first. It used to be a big struggle. When we say wealth, I'm like, well, it's almost as if I couldn't even pronounce the word wealth. Honestly. But now I speak about it more. Like I embrace it more. Like I'm wealthy. I'm opening up to wealthy opportunities. You know, it's easy to flow from my mouth than before. Before it used to be a struggle.
That one I'm still working. I'm still working on it. Sometimes I feel it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, am I being greedy? But I'm still working. I'm getting there.
And you know, we have also, I'm not generalizing us in the UK, but there's a conservative spirit that reigns in the UK. That British that being conservative, it can really alter what we need to, how we need to grow abundantly.
Yeah.
And so we've got to be very conscious of that mentality. That's that conservative mentality. We've got to be very conscious about it.
It's so true. It's so true. Oh my word. Thank you, Phinnah. Thank you
welcome
for this. I appreciate you giving us this time.
Oh, it's
sending lots of love.
Thank you. You too. From me to you too. Me too.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Lovely speaking to you. Bye.
Thanks.